Hello and welcome to the Wisdom Workshop. Please like the video and subscribe with all notifications turned on so that you won't miss any of our wisdom improving videos. Something extraordinary happened to the used automobile industry after March 2020. What was usually one of the worst financial mistakes a person could make became the year's best investment. Used car prices surged and autos appreciated for the first time in recent history. A used Model S purchased in February 2020, for example, will cost a customer about $50,000. Today, a used Model S will cost you approximately $71,000, a 44% increase. This change has made life tough for Americans around the US. An automobile is a necessity in American life, and the United States drives the most miles per capita in the world. With these crazy price hikes, the average auto payment has inflated to $733 per month, an astounding number that depicts the profiteering from the top of the business all the way down to the bottom. But for all of those who have waited for the market to calm, the moment for a collapse may finally be here. In recent weeks, we've seen data that suggests the collapse of used vehicle markets, and in today's video, we'll look at evidence that a perfect storm is brewing, with repossession agencies, creditors, and dealerships struggling in the face of quickly shifting circumstances. The alarming advances in the repossession sector set off this perfect storm. Repossessions were almost non-existent during the COVID-19 pandemic, said Mark Zane, president of the Nevada Association of Licensed Repossessors, since banks worked with automobile owners to postpone payments. Everything has now swung 180 degrees, and we're witnessing a record-breaking increase, with 15,000 repos happening every day across the country. While Mark's claim isn't supported by any publicly available evidence, it's disturbing to hear a former president say anything like this. It turns out that finding repos metrics is really difficult because repo data is often not available to the public, and what is accessible is generally months outdated. Regardless, we have a pile of alternate data to look at to gain a huge portion of the overall grim picture. As an example, the auction lots are teeming with automobiles. On top of this repo spike, which will ultimately trickle down and produce surplus supply, there's another issue. There are no sales. This is the phrase used by automotive enthusiasts to describe vehicles that make it to these auction lots but have bids that fall below the minimum bid established by sellers, implying that the banks, dealers, or whoever owns them are wary to let them go because bid prices are insufficient. So the automobile is kept for another week until another round of bidding occurs, and this process is repeated until the minimum reserve is met. The previous 2 years have changed the mindset of sellers who feel that secondhand automobiles are gaining more worth. Many individuals are waiting it out until they get their overinflated price, even if it means having no sales at the lot month after month. Now, as these lots rack up, the supply expands enormously, and the sequence from repo to bankruptcy proceeding to staging to auction and finally to retail sale is a lengthy one. So, the significance of these adjustments takes months to show up in the data. We did, however, witness hints of some reprieve this month, as well as what many are calling the apex. Despite numerous warnings, the wholesale index fell for the first time in over 3 years, resulting in a lengthy slowdown that is ultimately spreading shockwaves throughout the whole business. This development is causing yet another component of this huge bubble to worry. Banks, the lending institutions that feed so much of the car industry, are starting to constrict as vehicle defaults rise, which led to the bankers to become hysterical. In response, they're making vehicle loans more stringent and establishing new laws that limit what consumers and dealerships can and cannot do. Furthermore, bank costs are rising. This is a cost imposed on dealers by bankers. Consider it a charge for conducting business. As the dangers rise, so do the fees, placing dealers in a difficult position. Not only do dealerships have to battle to wring tight margins out of overpriced automobiles, but they're also being squeezed on the back end by banks who are raising the cost of doing business. This combination has two effects. Dealers are straining to cut prices because they can't handle the 1-2 blow, and purchasers are perplexed as to how used vehicle prices can remain disinflated 2 years after a reported new car supply calamity. All of this is coming together to form the perfect storm, with the last element being dealer deception, selfishness, and agony. According to sources, second-hand car businesses often operate with no money of their own, and 99% of dealerships don't have a single penny to their name. So you're probably wondering how they obtain their autos. They do so through credit lines with firms such as AFC and NextGear, which is regarded as standard and common in the sector. But something is changing. These organizations are known as floor plan lenders because they charge fees and interest to borrow money to get you autos on the dealership floor. But here's the thing, these corporations are beginning to recognize the impending pain and, like the banks, are tightening their assistance. What you're seeing is that these firms are raising interest rates to 10%, 15%, or even 20%. And worst of all, they're starting to audit a lot of people. For example, suppose they grant you a $100,000 line of credit and you buy 10 automobiles for $10,000 apiece. Let's imagine your automobiles are simply sitting there and not selling for a month, and now, because of shifting valuations, the same lot that was valued at $100,000 wholesale 2 months ago is now worth $70,000 wholesale. These dealerships get concerned because they believe they'll not receive their money back, so they conduct extensive audits and discover that it's $20,000 less than what was originally valued. Because of the terms and conditions, the flooring firm can now ask the dealership for $20,000 in cash collateral in order to keep the loan alive. This, unfortunately, is a true scenario that occurs often under poor economic conditions. These dealerships have no serious financial cash and can do nothing but have a meltdown. They sell their cars at auction to make some money, and the cycle continues, creating a self-feeding doom loop that results in auto showrooms shutting down and prices decreasing. Customers that can sense the downfall quit buying because they know future pricing will be lower. It's a downward spiral that begins with customers not paying for their exorbitantly priced automobiles, with repos growing, loans tightening, and dealerships panicking. It happened in 2008, and it appears to be reoccurring again, while you view this video. As I previously stated, this is the first time in recent history that used automobiles have appreciated, and unless there's a fundamental change in economics in the automotive markets, I anticipate a big correction in the near future. And that just about wraps today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please do give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to comment down below what you think about the 2022 used car apocalypse. Do you agree with the sentiments in the video, or do you have a differing opinion? Please do let us know. And also, thank you so much for watching, and as always, be sure to click the notifications icon so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos that will hopefully provide you with more wisdom and knowledge as you keep on binging our videos. We'll see you in the next one.